Hello. Now let us sum up the entire poem. In the previous class, we had discussion on each and every line, whatever we have in the poem, in the point of view of the poet. As the poet's point of view, we discussed line by line and phrase by phrase. Now we are going to sum up the entire poem here. And let me recite the poem once again. This is the final uh, discussion for us. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom. My Father, let my country awake. So, here I would like to discuss with you line by line, phrase by phrase, and before that, what is the intention of the poet to write this poem? That also we can discuss here. So, here Tagore this particular poem is one of the Tagore's vastly read and discussed poems. It was originally composed in Bengal, possibly in the year of 1900, under the title of Prardhana. As we know the meaning of the word Prardhana, Prardhana means a prayer. It appeared in the volume called Naivedya in the year of 1901. Later, in the year of 1911, Tagore himself translated the Bengali poem into English, and the translation appeared as a poem of 35 in his Nobel winning anthology of the Gitanjali that was published by the Indian Society in the year of 1912 in London. So, when the poem was written, India was under the British rule, and the people were eagerly waiting to get their freedom from the British rule. The poem is written in the form of a prayer to the God, the Almighty, for a true freedom for his country. So, and as Tagore reveals his own concept of freedom throughout the poem, where the mind is without fear. So, throughout the poem here, Tagore reveals his own concept of freedom. That is, in the first beginning four lines, what is going to discuss with us is here. In the very first line, the poet prays to the Almighty that his countrymen should be free from fear of oppression or forced compulsion. He wishes that everyone in his country has his head held high in dignity and honor. So finally, what poet is going to say here? In a truly free country, every person should be fearless and should have a sense of self-dignity. That is followed by another phrase where the knowledge is free. It means here the poet dreams of a nation where the knowledge would be free. Education should not be restricted to the upper class only, but everybody should be allowed to acquire knowledge. Not only that, and another point is also here, he added, the children should learn freely from the nature and the world around them. They should not be forced to memorize some predetermined lessons. And this is the Tagore's typical concept of education in the second line. So, though the poem is very small, but his idea, his vision, his dream is quite different. In the beginning, he is urging freedom. In the second line, what is going to say about the importance of the concept of the education? So in the middle part of the poem, what is going to discuss here, the broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. That was clearly discussed here. Here the poet emphasized the unity of not only of his countrymen but also of the entire world. He thinks there should be no division among the people based on their caste, creed, color, religion, or the other based superstitions. So, in other words, what is this idea refers to? Prejudice and superstitions should not divide the people in groups and break their unity. So now here, the middle part is going to be a bit of difference is there in discussion. So what is that? Tagore wants a nation where people are truthful. They should not be the superficial, and words should come out from the depth of their hearts. So in the next, in the middle part of the particular poem, what he is asking, what he wants is everyone to work hard to reach their goal, and in the long run to reach perfection. So if we work continuously without expecting anything, definitely in the long run we can get the perfection. He thinks they should not be tired by working. People should not be lazy and ignoring their work. At the end of the poem, the last few lines, here the writer is going to, or the poet is going to compare few things, what he would like to see in the country. He compares the reason or logical thinking to a clear strain, and in the next lines, he compares the dead habits or superstitious beliefs to a dreary state. He wants the stream of reason not to lose its way into the desert of prejudice. In short, people's thought should be monitored by rational thinking, not by superstitions. Logic should rule over old baseless beliefs. So, at the end of the poem, the poet's intention and wish to his countrymen is to be progressive and broad mind. He wants that their minds are led forward to ever widening thought and action by the Almighty. In short, and finally, we should be open minded and do something unusual or extraordinary, overcoming the narrowness of the mind. That is his message to the readers. In the heaven of freedom, my father let my country awake. This is the last line composed in the poem. So, what you would like to say through this particular line? Here, the poet addresses the God as a father. He asks him to awaken his country into such a heaven of freedom where the above conditions meet. Whatever the conditions we kept in the beginning, freedom is there, education should be free, it should not be once preparations like that. And the middle part, there is a comparison, and also he requests us to be unite. And all these, there are certain conditions. So if we are open with idea or any other thing, definitely we can meet all those conditions. And finally, what he is going to say, to make it clear, the poet prays to Almighty to raise or lift his country to such heights where freedom would be realized at its best. In turn, he is actually praying that God awakens his countrymen so that they come out from the darkness of ignorance, prejudice, disunity, and all other evils. Finally, what is the message of the poet here? The poet's message is here. In the poem, the poet's message is very clear. If all the people of a nation are not wise enough to lead a happy and peaceful life free from all evils, they cannot enjoy their freedom well. So, to the poet, only political freedom is not so important unless you are fearless, self dignified, knowledgeable, truthful, hardworking, and broad minded enough to enjoy fully. So here, this is the message given by the poet. Thank you. In the next session, we can see the assignment part. What is the poet's vision, and what would have inspired the Tagore to write this poem? With what inspiration this poem was written? All those things we can discuss in the next session.